Hi, welcome to Stories from the Writing Chair, or what happens when I actually write. This is from my short story Ripped, also in this short story collection called Ripped and Other Adventures. 151 years, 4 months, and 17 days. The journey was over. Gary St. John stared at himself in the mirror on his last day in the Warren Healing Research Institute. He looked gruesome, yellow-gray skin with a black smudge of new hair across his scalp and chin. Pink, puckered rosette scars adorned his neck and chest. The healing facilitator had assured him that the jaundice would fade, but the scars, he ran his finger across one of them, those were permanent. A permanent reminder of a failed dream. His discharge packet did not explain why the Starlight Project had failed, why Eternity's Promise had returned to Earth, only that the Warren Group hadn't wanted to strand the project personnel on an alien planet. It did inform him that all project personnel would be provided with an apartment to live in, and a small annuity for their time and trouble. Time and trouble. That's what they called a lifetime lost. To Gary, it didn't sound any better than the government slums he'd left. He tucked the discharge sheets into his duffel among his hopelessly outdated clothing. His hand brushed against something hard. He pulled it out. It was Ellen's pocket knife. He'd forgotten about it. She'd given it to him the day he left. He turned it over in his hands. The handle was dark polished wood with gold bolsters and had his initials inlaid in gold. He'd never seen anything so fine in his life. It was doubtless worth more than either of them would have ever seen before the Starlight Project. She had wanted to give him something useful, something to remember her by, to thank him for what he had done. She had driven him to the launch center on the day of his departure. They had parked 3 blocks away because of the huge crowd of reporters and well-wishers, and there alone she had given him the pocket knife. She had smiled, but she still looked like something had broken behind her eyes. He hadn't realized it would be so hard to say goodbye to her. But then he hadn't realized just how much she meant to him until the project recruiter had asked him to whom he wanted the signing bonus to go. Family? Friend? The recruiter had said. Gary didn't have any family, except for a brother he hadn't seen for years. Didn't even know where he was. The bonus check was an enormous amount, more money than he'd ever imagined, and suddenly he knew who should have it. Ellen. And then he had to say goodbye and watch her disappear forever into the crowd. He put the knife in his pocket. An unexpected pain welled in his heart. Ellen was dead. The project was dead. They may have sent him back to Earth, but they'd stranded him on an alien planet nonetheless.